Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I still can't get used to saying that. I'm so excited to do a Severance review of season 2, episode 6, titled Attila. And I have a special guest. This is my daughter. This is my daughter, Savannah. Say hi, Savannah.
Hi. Hi.
And we watched Severance together, and I had to beg and plead, but she agreed to do this with me. And so I'm actually not feeling best. My face is swollen. I have a dental infection over here, so I wasn't up to doing this. But once she said she would do it with me, I was too excited. I was like, we're gonna make it work. So
Yes.
bear with us.
Okay.
All right, so I have my notes here. We're also watching this show in the background to kind of keep track with everything. So if I mess up, it's all my fault, and forgive me. But we start the show with Mark talking to Ragabi, and he's talking about the stages of grief and bargaining. And I don't trust her. I think you don't trust her either.
Real. I think she's fake. And I think she's a liar. And I think that she has somebody that she cares about in Lumen, and that's why I think she has an ulterior motive. Because there's no reason for her to be this invested in Mark's life. And she's lying. It's really obvious she's lying, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely like she has a nefarious undertone. She's helping him and being so nice, but it's like, why?
Yeah, and you noticed a few episodes ago her saying, did they tell you that Gemma's alive at Lumen? At Lumen? Gemma is not alive. Not Mark's Gemma. Or something's off there.
I think that's where it's at. I don't know if Mark does find Miss Casey, will it actually be the Gemma that he knew? And she did say, did they tell you your wife is alive at Lumen? So I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see.
Suspicious.
And yeah, and I didn't like the part. I don't remember if this was at the beginning or later on, but Ragabi was talking to Mark about how it would all be over and he would be reunited with Gemma one day. It didn't feel true. It did not ring honest.
And I think that honestly Mark can sense that there's a little bit of lying happening, but he's so desperate to see Gemma that it's clouding his judgment. That's why he doesn't go through with the reintegration fluidly. Like, there are multiple times where he stopped, but then he becomes desperate again because it's his wife.
Yeah, I think that's valid, and I'm glad we have this video playing because we have the subtitles on. So I don't know if I put this in my notes later on because sometimes I go further and back up the list as the show goes. But the caption on the bottom of this scene is "You drink less, you listen more," and it reminded me of Mark saying that and how he would do everything different if he could just have her back, and especially saying the drink less part. We've seen him drinking so much now. I wonder if he was an alcoholic. And then that made me wonder, was he driving the car? And maybe that's why Mark is so burdened, not just the grief of losing his wife,
Guilt.
but maybe he killed her ass.
What she said.
That's right. She can't say bad words. She's 17. All right, let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I'll try to read my list. It's like I'm old and blind. Oh, this was you.
Yeah, okay.
In that same scene.
When Mark was talking with Ragabi about bargaining in particular, there was a blue light around Mark, and I think that hints at reintegration. There's a lot of playing with blues and reds, and I hope that they play with purple because that's a mix of the two, and integration, that's perfect. There should be purple, but I think the blue is a subtle hint to something. So
there's some purple and some mixing that happens later in this episode.
And that I'm going to leave the room for.
I wondered how long it was going to be before I made her uncomfortable. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I'll try to do better. Let's see. Oh! Speaking of the Lumen Blue, we are dressed for the occasion in case you guys didn't notice.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Oh, you already moved this up. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm not used to having help here. All right. Oh, I did have that maybe Mark was a bad husband listed there. It was just further down. All right, and so the next scene shows Dylan with Helly and Mark in I think it's
the break room?
I don't think it's the kitchenette because I think the break room is where the painting is, the poster. Because after this, Mark looks in the refrigerator.
Yes.
So the kitchenette area. And he tells them about the picture from Irving. And,
That's under the poster in the break room.
And yeah, then he left it there. And I was surprised, but I was also kind of proud of him for standing up for himself. Not that Dylan has a hard time standing up for himself, but I don't know. Something about that scene made me feel... I guess I was proud of him for also telling the truth, because he could have just not said anything. Because even though he's being more honest with Helly right now, he still doesn't seem like he trusts Mark all the way.
Which is ironic a little bit, because Helly is Helena, but she's not Helena, but she is Helena. Like, but Mark is also... Any Mark, when he's hurting, is a jerk. And he kind of reflects Outie Mark a little bit. And that's why it's not hard for me to believe that he was a bad husband, because Mark isn't a really nice guy. Mark is kind of a jerk.
A little bit.
Yes.
I would agree with that.
But he's also surrounded by, like, Rickons and his crazy friends, so how can you be much of a nice person when you're surrounded by that?
Are we judging Rickon already?
We are. I'm judging him he is.
In this same scene, I think it was ironic that Mark told Dylan to just tell them the truth, when at that point he was keeping the truth from Helly about
a big truth.
But I don't know if I think it was okay that he should tell her. Yes, but I don't know if he owes her that, because
he was just as like used as Helly was.
Yeah, he didn't.
He was tricked.
He consented to being with Helly, not Helena. So,
and then Helena, that's later, but Helena stalking him after? Helena is crazy. Like,
she's something. I think she likes Mark. They trying to... Well, we'll get to that. Let's see where we at now. Oh, I didn't even put this in my notes, but I really love this scene we're at now with the glitching of the refrigerator. Oh, I think I did put it just further down. I don't know why it was only 2 lunches in the refrigerator.
And remember, we thought that the reason there were 2 lunches is that Dylan might be having his lunch with Gretchen during his little, like, family meets. So that's probably why there were 2. And she said that Mark probably would have noticed that if it weren't for the whole, like, glitching and reintegration stuff. So that's probably why there were 2 lunches.
Because where do they think Dylan is going?
That's,
what is
like,
he doing?
the biggest thing. What's the, like, excuse that Mr. Milchick provides? Does Mr. Milchick provide an excuse? Do they... Maybe, like, earlier in the season or earlier in the series, I would think, oh, well, they know better than to not ask questions. But these are, like, the most curious people ever. So
because they're toddlers.
Yeah.
And they don't have the filter that adults have.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in where they think Dylan is going for, like, an hour each day. Or however long it is.
I would like to know how long it actually is, too. Because I know the first one was 18 minutes.
Right. But I also feel like they're bonding really quickly for such a short period of time. I know. They're bonding.
I'm trying not to make you uncomfortable.
So.
All right, and now we're just at the opening. I have this in my notes that I just love the mirrors. I think we both agree throughout the show. Progressively through every episode, it's like they're featuring more and more mirror shots. And I know that's telling us, well, I mean, they're mirrors, so it's the inside and outside mirroring each other. But I really appreciate seeing those shots. They're always so beautiful.
This show is just generally beautiful. I mean, they have all the mirror shots, but they also have a bunch of beautiful scenes where, like, if there's dialogue with 2 people, specifically if it's somebody working for Lumen or someone at Lumen, they might appear fuzzy, which I think is always super duper interesting. I think everything with this show is intentional. So a lot of these shots are really, really beautiful and scary. So.
Yeah, I think some shows kind of end up in, like, with a happy accident of the way it kind of comes together, but I don't think that was Severance. I think that everyone involved is at the top of their game and, like, on it, and I'm so grateful. I'm so happy we get to watch it. I'm happy we get to watch it together, but I'm also happy just to experience it, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Let's see. Oh, just loving the glitches, all the glitches. I love the glitches more than the mirrors. I don't know. It just really captivates my attention and makes me want to know, like, what is going to happen.
Yes, and as, like, crazy as the concept is, I think Mark's reactions to the glitches are super funny. Like, he says things I can't repeat, but his reactions are so funny and so realistic. So
I feel you. Oh, and I didn't even realize I put this in there. This is about the opening. Guys, we figured it out. I know we all
She
suspected
figured
it.
out.
We all suspected and theorized what would happen if Helena or Helly ended up pregnant. I know for a fact that she's gonna have a baby. Maybe twins, which would be crazy. I just now considered twins.
Oh my gosh. Twins.
What if it was
clones.
triplets? Yeah. But the way that we know is in the opening. Mark is in bed surrounded by babies.
Surrounded by babies.
I don't know that this show can, if you watch the trailer, the opening credits, if it will let you predict what's going to happen necessarily. But once you get familiar with the opening and you watch the show, you'll see something in the episode and be like, oh no, that's from the trailer. And today, seeing all those babies, I was like, oh.
There's so many parts of this show where it's like, because it's an amazing mystery and it's so complex, but there are so many parts where they kind of throw the pieces at your face and you still can't put the puzzle together. Like when they were at the outdoor retreat and we were trying to like it. There obviously it's not actually outside because the waterfall wasn't freezing, but there was snow. Like there's so many parts of the show where it's like, duh, but we're so engrossed in all the details they throw at us that we kind of forget the most blatant things. So
it's not just that it was snow, because you can have cold and still have moving water, but the fact that the body of water, the pond or whatever, was frozen solid.
But the waterfall is flowing.
Yeah,
Like,
those two things don't go together. So, I think it is in our face. We just don't necessarily understand it all. But I'm loving the mystery. So the next scene we have is Milchick meeting with Miss Wong and basically telling her to stay in a child's place.
Miss Wong needs to be grounded, effective immediately. Miss Wong has such a mouth on her. Like, Miss Wong is dangerous. So, yeah, she needs to be grounded immediately. I mean, that's why I'm so glad that Mr. Milchick didn't let her play her little instrument at the at the funeral.
I don't know what it's called.
Whatever it's called, because she needs to go sit in the corner and think about what she's done. Because she is just a little girl talking like that.
The more the show goes on, the more I'm convinced that she may actually be a teenager. At first, I thought clone robot, but she is acting childlike. But then so do the innies. They act childlike. So
that's true.
She might. I don't know. I think that she may be connected to Miss Cobell. Miss Cobell, when she got fired from Lumen and came home and tore down her little altar with all the praise Kier and Lumen stuff. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that it was a picture of her like in a private school, like with uniforms and stuff. I wonder if she comes from that same school or if I'm reaching. I don't know.
I am super interested, and you might know more about this because you do reading the.
I do read sometimes.
Yes. Like you go deep with this show. But the Fellowship Wintertide. What is that? What is that? And yeah, we have in our notes that the Fellowship Wintertide tells Miss Wong to eradicate childish folly, which translates to grow up, according to Mr. Milchick. But I'm really curious on what the Wintertide is. Yeah. What is that?
Maybe a private school. Maybe even like a college, like a private college. I was trying to think of the school where Mark used to teach, where he met up with Ragabi in season 1, but I don't think it was Wintertide. I feel like I remember that if it was the same words.
It very much mirrors their conversation. Very much mirrors the kind of energy that she had when she brought up that his performance review was the next day. Very much like threatening almost, but I think Mr. Milchick came across a bit more menacing, given he's a grown man. So
yeah, I agree. All right, the next scene is Helly and Mark in the bathroom talking. And he finally fesses up to her and tells her that they shared vessels, which I think is a really interesting way to put it. There's more I want to say,
but she won't.
I won't. But maybe I'll make like a YouTube short or something and tell you guys how I feel about that.
I will be in my room
and I will
with
make sure
earbuds.
You never have to hear or see it. All right, let's see where we're at. Oh, number 12 note says poor Helly and poor Mark. And maybe poor Helena. Because I've been saying Helena, out of the 4 people, Helena is the only one who actually consented. But we don't know if she did consent. We don't know if her daddy told her to do that.
Because her dad is... Like, I don't even remember what the one word he spit at her was. Do you?
Oh, something putrid. Oh, some old-fashioned insult.
That...
Fetid, mop it, something like that.
Yes,
something like that.
Fetid, mop it. So he looks a little scary. So who's to say?
So old.
So
like, he's
old. Like
200. Like, just, and fragile looking, frail looking. So yes. I can't wait till we get to the revolving part. I don't know if you remember in the season finale of last season when Helly came to the gala, and they thought she was Helena, and he told her that I can't wait for you to sit at my revolving. I think there's some consciousness to change, some sharing chips or something. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm excited to see where everything goes. Let's see. Thank you for doing that. Oh
yeah.
After that, Helly, goes for her walk and kind of sits with how she feels. She took those shoes off.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It scared me because last time we saw Helly taking her shoes off,
hang herself.
It's when they fell off her feet when she was hanging herself. So I was like, damn, do not do this over no man. It's not that serious.
Mark at that, which is funny because I brought up how Mark is not all that, but then Mom was like, Mark is the cutest guy she's ever seen because it's Mark, was Irving, and Dylan.
And there were a couple of other guys when they finally met all the people at OND and the goat people, but the goat people probably smell bad.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so the next thing we have is Mr. Milchick trying to be better at using paper clips. I need to still process more about how I feel about this scene. I'm trying to look at it just as it is, but I have little things in the back of my brain because how they introduce race into it.
I get that 100%. I have a different opinion. I love the scene with Natalie where he's essentially... I love the painting scene. I love the scene after where they're talking right before his performance review, and he asks her essentially if she's had a similar experience with how she felt when receiving the paintings. I love the little lip tremble. I love how it's like the words are fighting to come out, but she knows that she can't say what she wants to. And I think it was really interesting that Mr. Milchick was naive enough to think that he could only be talking to Natalie. I don't think that you can just talk to Natalie. I think Natalie is always with the board. I was hoping that's where you were getting. I agree. I think that earpiece she wears is just for show. I think there's a chip in Natalie and the board is there constantly. I don't think it's just like her not being able to say what she wants to say. I don't think she can think what she wants to think. I think she's the board's vessel, which is gross given how the word vessel was used a few minutes ago. That's nasty. But I get it. Yes. I think we're both on to something. I did like the scene. I just wish it didn't have that subtext. I get that. Because there's so many other grievances they could share. Yeah, just being working at Lumen, right? And there was the good point you made on how his former job was taken by some little girl with a potty mouth. And then he gave her the job today. And she thought we forgot this. Yes, she thought she was going to sit at his desk. Sit at your regular desk. Like, damn. She was ready. She was so ready. So ready. But then she did. We saw her handling it later on with Mark's nosebleed. So maybe she is ready. Yes. Oh my gosh. What did she ask him? I'm not sure. Did she punch you? Yes. She's like, did she punch you? He's like, no, not this time. Oh, this is funny. Yeah. So the next scene we have Dylan with Gretchen having his visit. I forgot what they called it. Family. I don't remember. Visitation. That might be what it's called, actually. I noticed this time that last time they had the pictures on the wall, and it was Dylan and his family. It was them as a family, all like 5 of them. This time it was just Gretchen. With her hair curled looking cute. Like, girl, you flirting with your husband's innie. Exactly, and you're lying to the Audi about it, saying it was canceled, and you're looking rough for your family, but you looking cute for the innie. Mm-hmm. Girl, like her hair is curled. You're cheating on your man with his innie. That's insane. It cheating? Is it cheating? I think it's cheating. I think it's cheating. I was on the fence about whether it was or not. I like the gray area in between of just like, is it?
But what made me think, like, lean towards more that it is cheating is later on when she lies to Audie Dillon about it not happening.
Because it's like, she must feel weird about it. She must feel like it's bad. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to lie about it.
That's a good point. That's something I felt like in real life in my relationships where a guy might lie about something. It's like, if you feel the need to lie, then it means you're guilty, right? Like, then that is cheating.
Because there's nothing wrong with telling the truth. And that's like, it's something that you think is bad.
She's so young and naive, girl. The truth will get you in trouble.
This is true.
All right. I'm gonna pause that so I don't get too far ahead. Wait.
Should keep this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that it? Oh, no. So it's how they close it out with he asked for a hug. And it reminded me of season 1 when he asked Miss Casey for a hug when she was there to watch Helly, her favorite date so far of her life. And Miss Casey shut him down. It was like, no hug. So Dylan is very happy to get his hugs. That kiss was a real kiss. If you watched, like, the tongue was coming out, I was like, whoa.
Ew. It reminded me, the hugging reminded me so much of, like...
I don't know where this is going. I'm nervous.
So many moments are so awkward. Do you remember when Helly and Mark were gonna kiss? They stared at each other for like at least a minute straight, just looking at each other. Like, this show is so awkward with things like that. It's so awkward.
Yeah. It was an unreasonable amount of time, but I do like that because so many shows it feels like they're just trying to, get to the 45-minute mark. Let's go. This, they will just have quiet or this awkward tension. I think I've heard it called like a pregnant pause before, where you just sit with the silence.
That's funny that it's called a pregnant pause. This show.
She's pregnant.
This show. Helly is... and
I don't think you needed to clarify.
And I think that just another example of the pregnant pause, I guess, is in the first episode of the first season. 5 minutes of him just walking down this white hallway. Like,
yeah,
this show is not scared of using lots of time for scenes that other shows probably wouldn't do.
Yeah. So I just speaking to that opening, I remember watching an interview. I don't remember who it was with the actor that plays Mark or Ben Stiller or Adam Scott, one of those. And they were talking about the walking scene and how they told him, just keep walking and walking and walking and walking. When you feel like you've walked enough or maybe a little too far, check your watch and then keep walking some more.
And I remember seeing in an interview recently, it was with Adam Scott and Seth Meyers, I believe. He said that he knew that it would be a very long walking or running day when one of the crew members would text him and ask him what his favorite flavor of Gatorade was.
You have to stay hydrated. It's a long distance. So the next thing we see is Helly, where she's sitting on the floor, crying, feeling all sad. Because I wish she had a thought bubble and we could know exactly what she was thinking. I think later when she finds Mark, we kind of get a hint of what she's thinking. But I wonder, are you sad that Helena got to be with Mark? Is it more about you not being in control of your own body? Is it both? Like, I would love to know exactly what was going through her mind at that moment.
Yeah.
Let's see. I should play that. Yeah.
She won't.
She'll
make the YouTube short.
I have thoughts about the next scene, the sharing of vessels, but I can't. She's 17. I can't. So we will skip that. Look at all these notes I gotta skip. And I can't even believe you saw that phrase. I'm so sorry.
I don't think I did.
Okay, well, yeah.
Okay.
There'll be a YouTube short at some point. So we're skipping the sharing of the vessels and going. Let's see if I can actually skip a little bit here so we can see. Oh my gosh, it's so much.
Oh gosh.
We're skipping. There, I'm on the sharing of the vessel scene right here. I know that it goes back to Mr. Milchick is at that.
There he
with
is.
the paper clips.
Yes.
With his hand trembling, he been trying to do the paper clips so bad. I have something to say about the paper clips too. I forgot. I wanted to research that more. I told you a little bit about it, but I needed to read more and flesh it out more. So I may, if my face is not swollen up on the side and I feel better, I might do another video about that. But I gotta flesh it out a little bit more. How did you feel about this? The grow up, grow up, grow up, grow.
I have many thoughts on this. One, I'm going to parrot the thing that you said. It seems like he has this set up. Like, the mirror is already there. The light is right there. How many times has he done this? How many times has he had to do this? Was it already set up for him? Was it, like, there's so many questions there because it was so easy to set up. And I feel as though that statement, maybe at first the statement that he was repeating, the "you must be eradicated from your childish folly" or whatever it was, maybe that was because he said it to Miss Wong. Maybe it was meant for her, but as he kept saying things and as it changed and transitioned to grow up and grow, it almost felt like he was yelling at himself and chastising himself with his eyes watering and everything. It was really just like a super intense scene. It's definitely my favorite scene with Mr. Milchick so far.
I would have to think about if that was my favorite scene with
Definitely. I love scenes where you're left kind of feeling a bit disturbed. That's why I love the scenes with him and Natalie so much. They are so disturbing.
So why do you think, I know what I think, but why do you think he's telling him, is he telling himself those things? Why do you think he needs?
So it did make me think of when he was in the performance review, and him and, can you remember what his name was?
Mr. Drummond.
Mr. Drummond. They were talking, and Mr. Drummond.
I think you're going to say the same thing I think.
Mr. Drummond essentially said you need to go back to treating them like what they are, or who they are. No, what they are. And I think that the subtext of that basically means, hey, you're treating these innies like they're people. You need to stop. You need to grow up. So that's what I think it probably meant. So I think we're going to see a really cutthroat Mr. Milchick soon.
I don't know about seeing him cutthroat, but I agree with what you said before about the whole grow up is telling himself, reminding himself to remember what his job is, to stop treating the innies like people because they're not, like, put on your big boy pants. Yeah, which is sad because I thought he was like, I look at the positive experiences that the innies have had outside of the sharing of the vessels. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I think that, like, Mr. Milchick makes them have fun. They had the melon bar, the egg party,
the waffle party.
Oh, you can say waffle party, but I can't talk about sharing vessels.
Yes.
We can't even eat waffles in my house. We used to have breakfast for dinner like once a week. Now I can't even look at a box of waffles.
That is so funny. But yes, it does seem like he really set it up for them to have fun. And I don't think at first before this, I don't really think I thought of it as Mr. Milchick. I kind of thought of it as just, oh, this is Lumen, being Lumen. Mm-hmm. But I think that maybe he somehow makes Lumen a little bit brighter for the innies, which is a really, like, grim thing to think about.
And because they don't even realize or appreciate it. Which is kind of like as a parent, you please don't feel bad or anything like that. But, like, as a parent, so often you go out of your way. There's so much that goes into being a parent for your kids, and the kids only see, like, what you show them. Mm-hmm. So it just made me think of that same dynamic where they're ungrateful.
The innies are very, like, childlike. Mm-hmm. Mr. Milchick could, in some warped sense, be seen as a parental figure for the severed floor.
I wonder if he's a father in real life.
Huh.
We don't know anything about him outside.
All we know is that he rides that little bike. And I do not believe that Mr. Milchick is a biker. Like, that made me laugh when I saw him get on a motorcycle.
It intrigued me, too.
I feel like he drives a Prius.
I don't think they have Priuses here. They only have old cars. Maybe that's why he has the bike, because he was like, he don't want, like, a old car. Maybe he wanted something faster. I don't know. Let's see where we at. I skipped that. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. Oh, and this is what we mentioned this earlier when Miss Wong asked Mark if his nose was bleeding because Helena punched him. At first I was wondering, wait, why is his nose bleeding? But we know why his nose is bleeding.
Integration.
The reintegration sickness. If Mark ends up like Petey, I didn't think it was possible because he's the star of the show. But knowing that, for all we know, Gemma could have died and this be a different version of her, they could kill a version of Mark.
And have another one. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's
There's so many Marks. I'm sorry, it's okay. There's so many Marks in the intro.
Opening, there's so many Marks.
Maybe we're going to see a lot more Marks. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that would be kind of sad.
I'd be pretty sad if we lost Mark. I know I started the video saying that he's a jerk, and he is, but I still love him. We still love him.
At least they already have the mugs at Lumen.
So wild they have those pre-made.
Funeral ready.
This one.
Is that where we are next?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I'm trying to understand my own. No, okay. Let me pause.
It's so when Mark had the wires and the reintegration is happening and he was glitching, Ragabi specifically asked about the black hallway. That Irving's Audi was constantly painting the picture that Irving left behind the poster in the break room. And I feel like that just kind of highlights even more and confirms that she does have a bit of an ulterior motive. You would think with how much she's helping Mark and how her biggest selling point is, you'll see Gemma, she might ask, hey, did you see Gemma or something? But no, she has an ulterior motive. There's something to do with that black hallway. She has something to do with Irving's Audi at the very least. There's something there.
I think that they said in the first season, I don't remember which episode, but they asked the question, said the phrase, maybe love transcends severance. And whoever they asked the question, the answer was like, no. Maybe love is a big motivator in this show in different ways, different characters. I think maybe, what if someone that Ragabi loves was severed? And they might be one of the people that's stuck at Lumen like Gemma. There's something there. She has a motive, and it might not be nefarious. What makes it feel nefarious is that
it's
she's withholding
lying and blatantly lying.
And she's so invested. She's so invested in this. She beat a man to death with a baseball bat.
I feel like that's a certain level of invested.
Yeah, I've been invested in a lot of things in my life and never beat anybody to death with a baseball bat. I mean, there was this one time in college, but we don't talk about it. Joking. Got me admit to murder on YouTube. All right, this is Mark getting on, man. I'm gonna pause for a second and find where we are.
Yes. 29.
Oh yeah, the way that when Ragabi was questioning him, Mark trying to recall the details, it was like he's like, I saw a desk, so confident, and then it was like, I saw a desk, and it got less and less confident the more you go, and it just reminded me of when you wake up from a dream, and like for that first 5 seconds when you wake up, everything is clear, and you're like, oh my god, that was crazy, and then 10 seconds after that, it's like, wait, it's what? Gone. Like it never happened, and you can't. Like I've kept a dream journal before. When I was younger, my dreams used to be more interesting. Now I don't know if I do dream. But I used to keep a dream journal by my bed just to write shit down before I could forget it because it'd be gone so quick. So I don't know if that means anything. I do know that we see Mark in his pajamas in that opening.
The red pajamas.
The red pajamas.
Red.
Yeah. Red, because, we see red as the color on the outside. We see the blue and the green, sometimes purple on the inside, but outside is always something red, and we'll see that.
With Zufu, I believe, is the Chinese restaurant.
I think that's after.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yes. But now we're on Irving. Irving. Yes.
Poor Irving. He seems so lonely.
Poor Irving. And he's such a sweetheart. Like, he's such a sweetheart. Poor Irving. For sure. The whole situation with him, Fields, and Bert is so nefarious. I think Fields knows something. I think Fields knows a lot of things, and I think Fields is trying to help Irving. And I feel like Bert, when Fields brought up Severance existing 20 years ago, Bert kind of brushed it off as him drinking too much, and then felt the need to bring it back up when he was walking Irving out and say, oh no, he gets a little foggy, I think that it's really interesting that you're trying to cover your tracks this much. I think that Severance has been around for a lot longer than we think. I don't think that Fields gets foggy or he was drinking too much. I think Fields knows something, and I think Bert is a liar. And Bert's Audi looks so evil compared to Bert's Innie. Like, there's something evil about Audi Bert. So, yeah.
I agree. The Innie Bert never looked as suspicious as Audi Bert does. He definitely is hiding something. I think that they've been severing people for a lot longer than they've said. I'm intrigued to know more about that. I also want to know more about I wish they would show. You know how they give us behind the scenes stuff, and they gave us like the Lexington letter, and we got the excerpt of Rickon's book. I need a video of the sermon about the innies going to heaven. I would like to hear that dialogue and see how like the people in Kia, the congregation reacts to it. I want to know more about that. Partially because in my own life, as I get older, I'm more intrigued by religion than I have been before, but also for the context of the show. I would really like to know more about that. I was glad they brought up the whole Mind Collective. Do you remember them from the first season?
I don't think so.
F.U. Lumen?
Yes. Yes.
I was glad they brought them up. It reminded me of when they said throwing the fake blood. It was very PETA-ish. No disrespect to PETA. I'm a vegetarian. We are vegetarians. So we love animals too. I just don't know how throwing fake bloods on people's furs will do anything. But like give dry cleaners more business. Alright, let's see. Should I pause for a second? Where we at? What did Bert do?
Because Bert said that he was a scoundrel in his younger years. And then Fields chimed in and was like, that's the least you could say, or something of that nature. What did Bert do? What did Bert do to push him to the point of getting severed so that maybe his innie could go to heaven with Fields while his outie burned? Direct quote from Bert, by the way. Like, what kind of things did he do? Because I'm not really religious, but I feel like you have to do some pretty bad things to think that you're 100% not going to heaven. Like,
it's a short list for me. Because God is supposed to be, it's all about forgiveness and you can repent and things like
and
that.
And they're going to church.
So, there's a short list of things you could do that's there's no redemption possible. So, I think Bert definitely, I don't know if he, took someone's life or he did something. He's got dirty hands and he knows it. So I don't even think he believes that I don't think he believes any of the stuff they were saying in that conversation about his innie might be able to go to heaven. I think he thinks that his fate is sealed.
Oh, that's funny. The cumin glaze does sound kind of nasty.
Yo, cumin glaze, that don't sound good to me. I like cumin and I love a good glaze, but together I don't know, on a ham with pork. That's not for me. But I also don't eat ham anymore. My notes are so random. I already said that. I don't know why I mentioned. I have a note here talking about the pastor, and then I bring up the Lexington letter. I don't remember. My notes are so quick and random that I don't really know what I meant by that, but I do appreciate the position that innies have their own soul. I think that's intriguing. But that's like I said, I want to hear that sermon. I want to know more about that and the people that believe that. All right. And then after this, we go to... Oh, this shows Mr. Drummond arriving at Irving's. I think that might be why Bert invited him to dinner.
Because think about this. Bert saying, ooh, you... the person that I obviously had a relationship with at work as my innie should come to my house to meet up with my husband who canceled our trip to Milwaukee because you were pounding at my door at who knows how late. That is a bad situation. Nobody wants to be in that situation. He had to have an ulterior motive. And Mr. Drummond happening to be there at the time that Irving is there with Bert and Fields. This show doesn't do coincidences.
And as we watch the scene, I think I'm skipping ahead, but I'll do it while we're talking about Mr. Drummond. When he was going through Irving's trunk, through all of his papers, we were pausing and trying to figure out what the paper meant, reading it and everything. And we saw some stuff, but I'm going to leave that to the rest of y'all detectives to investigate that and let us know what it means. Especially the part that intrigued me the most was at the top of the paper. It said duplicates removed.
I vaguely remember that.
Duplicates, I was thinking clones removed. And then the numbers beside, it's just, I know that soon at some point we will know what it means, but I want to know now. And I can't do it. So whoever else dive into that and post a video so that I can know, so we can know.
Yes.
All right. And so then after that, we see Gretchen and Dylan having dinner. I was really happy to see Dylan he seems like a good dad here. He's not ignoring the kids in the TV. He's helping them eat. He's trying to have conversation with his wife. I like him better.
Because I definitely feel... This makes me side-eye Gretchen even more. Because Gretchen all she does is either make Google eyes at oh my gosh, that's an Irving quote. Google eyes at either any Dylan, or she just talks trash about Audi Dylan, saying that he doesn't really commit to things. So it was good to see Audi Dylan being a good dad and a seemingly good husband while she sat there and lied to his face. So that doesn't put her in the best light.
And if you zoom in on the mantle behind them, Gretchen has an award for Dispatcher of the Year.
I remember you saying you thought she did something with emergency.
I think, yes. Yeah, that's what I thought before. Because her uniform was kind of like a security kind of uniform that night. They're probably about to call. Do you think that Devin is going to... Ragabi, because at the end, if they call 911...
Is she going to come there?
Or
does she go answer the phone?
I don't know. We'll see.
That would be a cool little kind of crossover.
Yeah. I think it may position her to...
be on the side of the innies because she wants Innie Dylan.
She might want to switch them out.
I feel like that's definitely what she wants.
Did we talk about the cheating? I can't remember if we had this conversation recorded or this was our conversation while watching it.
We talked about the cheating on here.
That's what happens when you go ahead. Now we see Mark in the Chinese restaurant. Another restaurant, another public place in Kier that's deserted. We saw the Pips Bar, basically deserted. The Great Door Factory that Dylan was trying to get a job at with the one man who looked just like him. Very deserted. Everything is so empty in Kier.
And again, the red light is so prominent here.
A lot of red.
I wish they would have shown when they put down his plate, they zoomed in on the fortune cookies. We should have seen the fortunes that were in the fortune cookies.
That would have been awesome.
There's so many directions you can go in that. What if they're Lumen fortune cookies?
That's what I was thinking. If it says something stupid like something Rickett would have wrote. And I also wanted, not only did I want to see Mark with his fortune cookie, I wanted Helena to just take it. Because she seemed like she would just take what she wanted. And I wanted to read her fortune cookie as well. Yeah, exactly. And like you said, so much red. I don't know what's with those trophies. For what?
Best lo mein.
Somebody investigate the trophies. Lo mein is delicious. All right, let's see. Their little flirting banner was
gross.
Was it? Yeah, it was kind of gross, but it was also kind of cute. Like they got a little chemistry. But why do you think she's there? I think we can assume she's following.
Because she want her man.
She missed Mark. She might miss Mark.
Which is crazy because she's on the outside. So she doesn't have the excuse that Ellie has about that being the cutest man she's ever seen.
Yeah, she could have options.
Helena has options. She's rich.
But does she, though? Because maybe they don't let her date.
You're right.
Maybe. I don't know.
But she don't really seem like the type to follow the rules.
It just popped in my head that, and this is probably something I'll have to elaborate in my solo adult video, but I was wondering if that was her first experience, but I don't think it was. And if you are an adult with experiences, you can understand why. But I'll elaborate on that. Later.
On her video.
All right. What else do we have about this scene? Oh, I like that they made it clear that Audie Mark recognized Helena. He knew who she was. Like, the Egans are known. They're, royalty in that town. So it was just a nice little reminder of that. And, obviously she knew him. It was messed up that she called Jim a Hannah on purpose.
It was so clearly on purpose as well.
I don't like mean girls. Yeah, Helena's a mean girl.
Helena is definitely a mean girl.
We would not have been friends in school. But then I also couldn't have afforded to go to
Helena's school.
Whatever private school she went to.
I bet she got homeschooled.
And Helena apologized to Mark for the systemic error.
Instead of systematic.
Yeah, and I always get some people, it feels like systematic and systemic are kind of interchangeable. I'm more familiar with them in terms of, is it okay to say DEI now? Bad word. But in diversity, inclusion, equity, justice programs. So I've heard it in those terms. So I'm kind of familiar with it that way. But I didn't really know what it meant outside of that. So I just Googled it. And systemic is basically just, instead of being a part, it refers to the whole. So that kind of was like, oh, I love that. I don't know exactly why, but this show is all about parts and wholes. So I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to, and I didn't even hear it until I heard it. It was like, oh, that's so immature and funny, but I'm so
Moving
sorry.
on.
I didn't mean it. I
Moving
promise that's
on.
not what I meant. If I meant to joke it, the note would be here.
This is true.
It just happened. I'm just naturally funny and
Gross.
maybe a little gross. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry. I did put a little something in the notes. I said the flirting was kind of gross too. I said it was kind of gross, kind of cute, which is how I feel. How you want to do this?
Helena's saying, "Oh, I want you to go meet my father." That's so weird. And it's like you're pregnant.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was gonna say. That's why
You're pregnant, and you want the grandfather of your child to meet the father of your child.
And I know there are people who probably say it's too soon for her to know, and maybe it is too soon for her to know. But also, you can find out after like a week, depending on where in the cycle things are. And like, I don't know what kind of medical innovation they have in Kier to Lumen. They might know. They may be able to tell right away. So I don't know if she knows that she's pregnant, but we know there's a baby. I already picked out my baby shower gifts. Like, if I'm invited, I hope I'm invited.
You want to be invited to Helena's baby shower?
Yes. Yes. I got my blue ready. What are you talking about? I would love to be there.
Oh, this Zuzu.
All right, but before that, I'll do. I think Helena wanted him to, when she stood in front of him. Another one of those awkward moments of them just looking back and forth at each other. At first, I was like, "Damn, she's trying to kiss him," but I think I don't know if she wanted to see if he remembered her, to see if reintegration was happening, or if she wanted him to remember her.
I think she wanted him to remember.
I think so too.
Because I think she wants Mark.
Which is crazy. Right, and then that's what we talked about. The name of the Chinese restaurant, Zufu, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but Zufu. We noticed that the Z and the U were dark, but the F and the U were lit up, like the Z and the U were broken. So I googled Zufu to see what it meant.
Father's father.
And it means father's father. So I thought it was very interesting that if it means father's father, does that mean it just means just father is lit up? And I don't know if that means something.
And
of course it means something.
And it might be also, you brought up that it might be a call back to the FU Lumen.
Yeah,
the FU was lit up as well. And it was in red, so.
Yeah, I love this show so much. It's like everything
everywhere.
is so good.
Yes.
All right, and the next scene is the Mr. Drummond going through the papers, which I had tried my best to understand, but I'm going to leave that to the rest of the detectives. And it doesn't help that he doesn't have like any facial response here. I can't read him at all to know like what he's thinking. And he seems so serious. But he got that frolic tattoo. It's like, you be frolicking?
He be frolicking with like the most serious expression ever, skipping through the field.
That's not how I look when I frolic.
Yeah, how often do you frolic?
I think we should stop because I'm not sure if we have the same idea of frolic.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm playing. I'm sorry. It's too much. I know it's too much. I felt it as I was saying it. I'll do better. All right, now we're back at the dinner. And I think we already talked about this. We talked about like the dinner as a whole and stuff already. Because see how easy it is to do that once you start a scene? It always throws me off. So I'll fast forward here and you figure out where we're there now.
We're on 57. How did Rick get all that?
Well, before, because we didn't say this in the dinner scene when
oh well, no, I'm not going.
Well, you're not going to say that, but when Fields asked if Bert and Irvin thought they had shared vessels, before he said there is a non-zero chance you had unprotected sex. I was like, well, I don't think they did have sex, but I think it is interesting that he automatically assumed that his husband did that. He did say scoundrel. And when I hear the word scoundrel, that's more of what I think about, like that type of behavior versus like killing people. But also, I don't feel like being a scoundrel stop you from going to heaven. Yeah. Maybe that's how men think. Maybe that's why y'all scoundrels, because y'all think y'all can still get to heaven.
Yeah.
Come to find out, you're going to hell if you're a scoundrel. Be faithful. Don't lie. Don't cheat. If only it was that easy. All right, let's play back to that. If you are frustrated by the awkward silence, just pretend like it's Severance. Should I look at you?
No.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Then let's do it. All right, then we go back to Mark and Raghavi in the basement, because after he's had the exchange with Helena, I wish we had a thought bubble. We don't know exactly what his motivation was, but we know that he was like, let's do it. He wanted to find out about Gemma. It wasn't about Helena. We both looked away a lot in this scene because neither one of us likes blood and gore too much. Like, I love
so
a good thriller,
gross.
but it's hard to like watch bloody stuff. So we were like peeking and looking away. So we may have missed something. I might miss it right now as this is playing because I'm looking away.
Right.
But I will say that I like the scene of him flashing and his experience. I always love when they do the glitch. Ooh,
so gross.
Silly. It is so gross. It's like, why can't you do it when we sleep? But I understand why he would have to be awake.
To be able to signify that he's there.
But still, gross. It feels like such a like invasive thing to do in the fucking basement. Mildly invasive. You're right. I forgot that's what the brochure said.
Oh gosh,
Mildly
it's
invasive.
so gross.
And it's like, it didn't seem like she cut a new hole. It's like the hole is...
She just spread.
Yeah, like the hole is already there. They walking around with holes in their head.
She was like, we'll just use the hole you already have. And that's when he kind of left and then came back and was like, sorry, let's do it.
So I don't understand how you don't get an infection. Like,
and she just put some tape over it. Like,
just like a little... They put... When I went to the doctor yesterday for my dental infection, I did some blood work and they put the medical tape on it. I had more gauze and medical tape on my arm from them drawing a little blood than he had on his hole in the back of his head. Like, no wonder he passed out.
Mark is just different.
Like, Ragabi is cool, but like, he couldn't even give my boy a Band-Aid.
No, it's not a Band-Aid. Like, that's insane.
It's ridiculous. Right, we're still in that.
How did he get all that?
How did Ragabi get all of that equipment in his basement? If she's worried about
being seen and she wants to be inconspicuous,
but they did
how
that?
did you get all this in the basement? How? You didn't carry it on your back, like.
And I don't think enough time has passed for them to have been doing it bit by bit. And like, where did she have the equipment before? Was it at the school? I feel like that might be the easiest explanation, that she had it at the school where she met Mark, but then once she killed Mr. Drummond, she had to move.
Mr. Granger.
Mr. Granger, thank you. But where was her stuff in the meantime? It wasn't at Petey's place. Petey been dead. So there are a few questions there.
Rest in peace, Petey.
R.I.P. to Petey. I liked Petey. Petey was quite
Petey.
charming, and he was funny. You liked his
He said that I'm his best friend. He's my very good friend.
That was so cute. That was very endearing. And there's more of that glitching. Oh yeah, I guess I was happy when Devin showed up. I like Devin. I miss Devin when she's not around.
She's so funny. I don't understand how Rickens got her except for the money part, which he threw in her face. That was so ugly.
Yeah, but I think you just
after he sat there and called Natalie Nat.
They've definitely been flirting.
Yes, and Natalie don't want him. Natalie's just doing her job. Natalie's doing what the board told her to do.
Natalie is getting Rickon on her side. Right, but I was glad to see Devin when she came. He was so rude to her.
I mean, granted, he just had a mildly invasive procedure, and he has a major headache, and he's confused.
But Mark is also a jerk. So,
well, that combination.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm come together. But I like that Devin. They seem to have, even with him being a jerk, I really like their relationship.
I think their brother-sister relationship is very accurate.
Yeah, I think that they would do anything for each other and love each other very much.
But they hate each other. Kinda.
Yeah. Let's see. I said he shouldn't be yelling at her. And then, so when Mark is flashing, right before he falls out, there's a flash of Gemma.
Yes.
Where she looks different than we've ever seen her as Gemma or Miss Casey. Her hair is long and
it's
black.
Wet.
And it looks wet. And it does not look like, ooh, I just got out of the shower. It looks scarier. Like a little, not like terrifying, but like a little scarier, for lack of a better word. And that made me remember in the opening credits, there's a scene of a car like going into the water. We saw Mark pull over at that tree in the last season. I wonder if Mark was drinking and driving, hit the tree, fell into the water, and that's how Gemma died. I don't know. I figure we'll see, but I don't know. I don't know why I have Bert is a liar all the way down there. That's out of.
But he is.
But, Bert is a liar. And then remember Ragabi came up, and I don't know what will happen next. Will they call 911? Will Ragabi be like, no, we can't involve anybody else? I think that's where the way it'll go. I think Devin will want to call 911. I think Ragabi will say no, but I feel like Devin might do it anyway.
Yeah, because Devin doesn't know who Ragabi is. She said, "Who are you?"
And if she knows that, if she tells her that she's used to work at Lumen, I don't think that would make Devin trust her anymore.
You saw how she was, but now she does not trust Lumen.
But Mark did tell her he was working on something else. So it just depends on how frantic Devin is, whether or not she can actually take the time to listen to her.
Yeah.
So we don't know if she should be trusted.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out. Oh my gosh, that's it. Just about. Only thing I have left is when the end credits closed. The show used to be fade to white. Now it's black. I don't know why, but I know it means something.
Yeah.
It means something. Jinx. Oh gosh, look, I think we've officially longer than the episode.
That is funny.
It's so much to talk about, and there's still stuff that we didn't go as deep as we could. We'll have to watch one of those "You Missed Everything" videos. I caught everything. I'm so smart. That was a little rude. I don't know. I don't really care too much I don't like when people title those videos that. I like videos themselves because we all do see different things. I just don't like it when you lie to me in your title and tell me you caught something I missed because you don't know that. Because you don't know me. So maybe you could say, maybe you missed this. But don't be guaranteed me. I'm very humble. So are you.
Yes, very much so.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to add? Anything we might have missed or anything just popped in your head?
I don't think so.
How much you've enjoyed this experience with it? Now you want to do it every week?
I have loved this experience so much, and now I want to do this every week.
Oh my God, I can't believe you said it all on your own.
Yes.
I'm so excited that you feel that way.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So, we're going to wrap it up, guys. I know what. I'll say live long and prosper because I always do that in my videos. But we can both say praise Kier.